I want you to think about how you bit that piece of shit's throat out. Asshole in the church with the red machete. That is what I'm talking about. That's the shit that I need from you, that I always knew you had in you. I knew you had it in you. Reckon it is time.
Hey Walking Dead fans, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be the last of the Rick videos of the Rick Week. 7 of 7, this is it. In this video, I'd like to bring back up Rick's final scene in the Walking Dead TV series. The actor, the showrunner, and several other people have said that Andrew Lincoln is not planning to come back to the TV show. That when he did exit the show, he won't be coming back. Of course, we know how things go, and with the virus thing and how it's changing media at the time, who knows? Who knows what will change and how things will play out. We followed the character Rick Grimes for years in the comic and in the show, and in season 9, he left the show, and the comic books ended as well, so it's pretty funny that we kind of lost the character of Rick Grimes in a big way in the comics and in the TV show as well. So it's been a while since the character, we've had the character in any format. And of course, spoiler alert for season 10 of the Walking Dead TV show. In the TV show, he was whisked away on a helicopter. And remember way back in season 1, it's kind of a nice nod, I guess. He saw the helicopter fly over, and that's what he started chasing on the horse when he came around to all those walkers coming at him down the street and chased him into the tank. And you know how it ended up from there, meeting Glenn, who took him to Lori and Carl, and just going on from that point. We've talked in these videos about what an amazing character Rick Grimes is, if he is a great leader or not, if he's a good guy or bad guy, and at different times, and just lots of different things. And as far as my own opinion of him exiting the show, it was really loosely written, I think, but probably not as much as Michonne's. I think Michonne's was definitely kind of just, let's just write something, But it does seem that the junkyard people, the scavengers, Jadis's group, they were brought in just to kind of keep the story going as far as a direction or a path for an exit for Andrew Lincoln or for Rick to be able to leave the show and do what he wanted as far as real life for the actor. And to the branch to get him over into the movie, it helped by having Jadis, and then Jadis being the one that kind of saved him in the end. So that whole character, that whole group, you could say could be a play off of a group in the comics, but they're kind of a creation of Scott Gimple to help put something in the story as a vehicle to get Rick Grimes in that helicopter and off the show. And I know you guys remember the junkyard, a lot of those scenes, Rick fighting the spiked walker and all that kind of stuff. And when he climbed up on top of the garbage heaps, we saw I think the helicopter pad is over to the left, but you can see the solar panels and then the RV that Heath was in when he was kidnapped. So you remember back when Jadis took Father Gabriel and was going to trade him. Same thing happened to Heath. She traded him for supplies. Was he an A or a B? We don't know. Some more theories and thoughts on what the A and B means. Some more, I guess, a deeper look into Jadis and stuff like her speaking differently when they first met her and stuff like that as the junkyard group, her leading it, sitting around naked, painting and, making cat sculptures and stuff like that. I'll get into a lot of that stuff, more of that stuff, in another video I'll do first of the week. But in this video, at least we know Jadis, a huge part, possibly a connection, if not a deeper connection, to CRM group, the helicopter group that took Rick, that she called in on the radio to pick him up and really save his life. Most likely he would have died by the wound that he had and the things that had happened to him if, say, Daryl and Michonne found him there on the riverbank. would he been able to have survived if Jadis had not taken him? Would he have been alive even by the time Daryl found him? So I'm sure it's a life-saving thing, but now Rick's on the helicopter, and where did he go? How's he doing? Is he a prisoner? Does he have amnesia? Why hasn't he come back to look for his family? A lot of questions are up as we're waiting on the fate of the movie, at least the first movie. Yeah, so there may not be 3. That may all fall apart. At least give us 1. Come on. Show us where Rick went. Show us, what the CRM mythology is all about and why he's a prisoner and what he's doing to try to rectify that. Of course, in Rick's last scene, he got impaled when he fell off the horse by the rebar. He pulled himself off of it and he staggered around on the horse through the woods and all this kind of stuff while hallucinating some long gone characters, some characters that had been killed off the show like Shane and Herschel and Sasha. One thing that kept being repeated in his sequence of events and people he would see, he even, at one point hallucinated Michonne there at the bridge. And she's not a past dead character. Michonne and some of the other past dead characters said, "We don't die. We don't die." That is a reminiscence back to Morgan saying that he doesn't die. So, at the end of Fear the Walking Dead Season 5, is Morgan dead? I don't think so. It's that whole he doesn't die and Rick doesn't die and we don't die. And then the whole thing about him looking for his family all the way up to that point, he's like, "You're my family," he tells Michonne. And she says, "Fight. Get up, Rick. Wake up. Fight. Fight for us. Fight for your family." He's like, "You're my family." And they look over at Daryl and Eugene and Maggie and all the others. It's all a hallucination, but he's like, "Oh, yeah, I found them. I found my family. I'm here." And that kind of thing. And that was the last thing he said as he shot the dynamite and blew himself up, supposedly, is that "I found them." And for all the callbacks to the first season and the other shows and other characters and things like that, it was pretty cool, Rick's exit scene. And some of the stuff they were trying to say, like him looking for his family and he found them. But also, there were a lot of visual things in there, a lot of hidden things, kind of Greg Nicotero's little nods toward George Romero's stuff. But, like the last scene, the bridge blowing up, him shooting the dynamite, the whole savior battle of trying to get them to come in and be a part of the whole community group and things like that. And Daryl questioning the whole time, like, why do all of those guys get to have a chance at life and living and freedom when Glenn didn't and Abraham didn't and Sasha didn't? So the turmoil leading up to that point, because all of that had just played out and fell apart, really. Carl's letters, leaving Negan alive, try to make it work. He tried, and it didn't really work that well. It was all falling apart. And I think, the bridge blowing up, yeah, it might have saved the community from the walkers and all of that was happening in the real. But I think just as a symbol, it's like that bridge was what they were building together as far as the communities to try to, connect the communities, and they were all working on it together. But all of that fell apart, and we definitely saw that coming back mid-season into the second part of Season 9 with Michonne, like, not wanting to let anybody in and talk to any of the other communities and just things like that, and a lot of things changed after that. But we're all ready for some Rick Grimes to come back, I think. I know I am. It would be great to see the movie, and I'm with you guys. I would love to have went to a theater and seen it, but just give it to us. I don't care if I'm sitting at home, whatever. Just give it to us, right? Because I want to see, where they started off and what position is Rick in and how long did it take him to get well and is he a prisoner or not and how much of a prisoner, meaning how many freedoms does he have and are they forcing him to be a soldier? Because remember, 6+ years have went by since he disappeared, and what's happened in all that time? Was he a prisoner all that time? Was he a soldier all that time? Was he a slave of some kind? What's up? And that story can only really be fleshed out in the movie. We'll get a little glimpse of what the CRM is in the spinoff show World Beyond, and we might get a little glimpse of why or what's happening in that other community, wherever CRM is, through hearing about, some of the stuff that's happening. The World Beyond will be the same timeline as the mothership show, The Walking Dead. It won't be like several years into the future or, several years behind the Walking Dead main show. They should line up pretty close. And thus, the first Walking Dead movie, I think, will be 6 years in the past. And I think it'll take at least by the second movie to catch up to the current timeline, so Michonne can pretty much just walk right into, say, the second movie. Fear the Walking Dead is still about 6 years back. And remember Morgan getting injured? He could be going to the movies as well. I think Michonne and Morgan may be going to the movies, but we'll be talking about all of that in future videos. You guys let me know what you think about the last scene of Rick Grimes, the exit scene, his supposedly death, but as we know, he is off to the movies. Let me know what you think about all of it or any of it or, whatever actually. Down in the comments below, and I will join you there. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more dead stuff.
I have a B. Not an A. I never had an A. He's hurt, but he's strong. Can you help him?